This video explains how to sign on to MyLabsPlus, how to do homework in MyLabsPlus, and how to get help with homework. MyLabsPlus is where you will access the ebook, take quizzes and tests, and do most of your homework. You will not have access to our MyLabsPlus content until the first day of the semester. Notice that our sign-in page has the Delaware Tech logo and contains DTCC in the URL. I recommend setting up a bookmark for the sign-in page for MyLabsPlus so you can get to it even if the portal or D2L is down. Your login is the same as your Delaware Tech email address without the @dtcc.edu part. Your password is math student, all one word, unless you changed it in a previous semester. If you want to change your password, or if you forgot your password, click Forgot Your Password just below the sign-in. At any time after the semester begins, if you have trouble accessing MyLabsPlus, this is an emergency and you should contact your instructor immediately. After you sign in, select your course. Run the browser check if you are using a computer you have never used for MyLabsPlus, or if this is the first time you are using MyLabsPlus this semester. Be sure your pop-up blocker is off. Click Course Home and then click Assignments. The due dates are shown at the left. Notice that the due dates in MyLabsPlus do not necessarily align with the deadlines in the weekly checklist in D2L. This is because the weekly checklist in D2L tells you when you should do the homework to stay on track, but the MyLabsPlus due dates represent the last possible moment when you can do them before the 50% late penalty begins. If you miss a quiz deadline, you get a 0. If you start a homework assignment before the deadline and finish it after the deadline, the late penalty applies only to the problems you completed after the deadline. To avoid late penalties, follow the deadlines in the weekly checklists in D2L. The due date is not the date that you do it. To start an assignment, click on its name. Click on one of the questions. If you have trouble seeing the problem because it's too small, you can use Control+ to zoom in. As you are doing the problems, show your work and number your efforts neatly. You will use this work as you prepare for tests and also if you want to ask your tutor or teacher a question. Take notes as you do the homework. One way to take notes is to print out the entire assignment before you start. The printing menu is in the question help. Notice how when you print it, it will look a little bit like a worksheet. Alternatively, you can take notes on your own paper as you go. In this example, I've already done problems 1 and 2, and I took some notes as I was doing problem 2 so that I would remember for later. Now I'm going to copy down this problem. Notice how it's numbered. If I'm not sure what to do, I could just give it a try and say, oh, maybe I'm supposed to multiply the tops and multiply the bottoms, and that would give me -25 on the top and -8 on the bottom, so that gives me 25/8. So when I go to enter my answer, and I'm typing it as 25/8, and now I'm going to click Check Answer. and it tells me that I'm incorrect, that I needed to do something different. So I need to multiply the numerators. It gives me a hint about it. So I say, okay, and I'm going, it looks a little too big. Okay, so now I'm going to try it again. Let's suppose it's supposed to be negative 25/8. So I'll try again. Maybe it's supposed to be negative. I'll type a negative number. I'm doing this wrong on purpose, folks. Okay, so I'm going to click check answer. It's still wrong, and I'm going to try, okay, maybe it's negative 25/64. Let's try that one. Final check. Sounds scary, doesn't it? Now it says that's incorrect. So notice now it says that it's wrong, but it does show the correct answer. The correct answer should have been positive 25/64. So what I'm going to do is in my notes, I have the right answer, I have the wrong answers, and now I'm going to start over and do this problem again. So what I'm going to do is click similar question. And now I've got a problem that's similar, negative 2/3 times negative 2/3, and now that I've learned how to do it, I know that the answer is a negative times negative is positive, so it's 4/9. So when I type the correct answer in, yay, it tells me how wonderful I am, and it's right. And then I can either go to the next problem, I can say, you know, maybe I didn't really want to go on because I'm not sure I learned it. I can click similar question. Now suppose I say, oh, I'm not sure if I really want to do this. Let me go ahead and close this down now. Even though it's a new problem, I'm going to close it down. It gives me a choice of saying, do I want to save this attempt that's wrong or save my best score? Well, of course, I'm going to pick save best score. And now I see that that question number 3 has that green check mark next to it. And I can come back later and finish the homework assignment. Let me explain some of the other helps besides printing. As we are doing the problem, we have a few choices. In this case, we've got help me solve this, textbook, ask my instructor, and we've already seen print. Not every type of not every type of help is available for every problem. Some problems might offer a helpful video or animation. If you do have a chance to use view an example, I don't recommend using that. And sometimes getting to the textbook from here is a little hinky, so I wouldn't recommend using that either. In another video, I'll show you how to use the ebook. If you choose help me solve this, notice that the problem, it helps you teaches you how to solve 6/10 times 6/10, and there's 7 parts remaining, so I'm going to keep going, and it's walking us through, so it's, you know, we're doing 6 times 6, 6 over, okay, so now I'm checking answer. Yeah, I did that right. And say, oh, now I get it. Okay, so when I hit close, remember the problem was 6/10 times 6/10? Now it's a new problem. So what we want to do is remember that when you click help me solve this, that does change the problem, which is fine. You still have an infinite number of chances to try the problem. When you use help me solve this, the instructions might not be exactly the same way it was demonstrated in your class or in the video that was provided in D2L, but it will always be mathematically valid. If you choose Ask My Instructor, it begins an email automatically addressed to your instructor. Now, what you're going to do is go ahead and explain your question, but you don't have to explain too much because there's a link to the question that's there. So you don't have to explain what the problem is. You just need to explain what you're struggling with. So if you say, well, how did they get the 36 in the, how did in the second step and help me solve this? How did that happen? So, please, show your work. If you can scan the work that you have done on paper to say, what am I doing wrong? That would be very helpful. But do your best to explain what you are struggling with. And make sure you sign it too, because your instructor will see your email address and the course that you are in, and the section, but they might not recognize your name from your email address. So please do sign it. And then when you hit send, it will automatically send an email to your instructor. once you do hit that send button, then your instructor may not respond for up to 24 hours or a business day. Be on the lookout for their email. And if you figure out the answer before your instructor responds, please be courteous and follow up with another email telling them that you no longer need a response. If you do use your instructor's email response, give your instructor feedback about it. Was it helpful to you? When you are finished with the problem, again, you hit save. Remember that you have an infinite number of tries for every problem. At any time, you can navigate to another problem. You can pause and save the assignment. Just remember to come back and finish. How do you know if you still have work to do? Well, from the assignments page, you can click See Score and see how far along you are. And there are other ways to get help besides the help features in MyLabsPlus. You can visit your instructor during their student hours or email a request for an appointment with them outside of their student hours. You can look in D2L for links to those features. You can log in to the college's virtual Math and Physics Center to Zoom with a tutor, see D2L for hours and availability and the and the link to the Zoom. And also the college offers 24/7 chatting with a tutor via Smart Thinking. This is a feature from our publisher, Pearson. So D2L does have a link for Smart Thinking. The college is in the process of finalizing procedures for coming on campus for tutoring appointments. Once these procedures are in place, your instructor will provide links in D2L to the appointment scheduler. With all this help available and unlimited tries on homework problems, you are expected to keep a homework grade of 100% or close to it. Thanks for watching.